Well, and she said a president that believes in science. Well, that's in office now. Thank God we have a president that believes in science. Well, other than biology.
Well, you know, look,
potentially, and other than settled science for the last 100 years
about the penis.
Yeah.
The big question
I
mark.
wouldn't do that.
Look, I know a lot of people were very upset when Trump said that he'd be able to roll out a vaccine in a year and get it to most Americans within.
Said it would never happen.
The Democrats said they wouldn't take it if it did happen.
And now they've come out and said that anyone who's taking, not taking the vaccine is a terrible person. But before, if you were going to do it, you were a terrible person because Trump did it and had his Trumpy fingers all over it. And yet the back and forth just doesn't make any sense.
We changed the definitions of science. We knew how masks worked. We knew it. We understood it from hospitals. We changed the guidance. The CDC changed the definition of herd immunity. We have screenshots.
And they want it both ways because keep in mind, what did they go after Donald Trump for, right? Remember, one of the things they went after him for were very fine liquids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, they went after him. That was running on a morphine drip in the media. But what was he saying?
Every day.
We have a mask shortage, but that maybe there are ways to make these masks reusable because Democrats were saying, of course, we have a PPE shortage because masks can only be used once. And Donald Trump said maybe there's a way. And when he said fine liquids, meaning maybe there's some kind of a way to re-sanitize masks so that we don't have to throw them out. Because up until really 8 months ago, we all knew that masks, certainly in the first week on this show, when we told people how they can make a mask at home, which came from the CDC website,
That's right.
by the way,
it did.
double-layered pillowcase. We said, by the way, if you don't wash it every single time, all this goes right out the window. It's totally useless. We were very, very clear about it. We all knew that. And Donald Trump, again, in trying to find a solution to the problem, spoke eloquently, saying very fine liquids, and they went after him for it. But now they're saying it doesn't matter because you can just reuse the mask. You can wipe your with it and then toss it on tomorrow. Also, I don't know when we determine that this country should entirely be run by scientists, that it should only be run by scientists.
They advise.
Yeah, they advise. So when you have people who say there is no cost too great to save us from one COVID death.
Really?
How about record deaths from suicide, from unemployment?
What about that cost?
From depression, from loneliness? Look, there is a cost too great.
Yeah.
There is. And you have to weigh all this. I don't know why we've said that we want a voice for we want a diverse set of voices here in America. Oh, really? Yeah. We mean different colors. Oh, okay. But do we want advisors to be scientists, to be business owners, to be working class Americans, to be no. Only scientists. Business owners don't know anything.
Yeah.
They don't know how to run an economy. We want scientists, exclusively worker bees. You need all of the above. Otherwise, there would be no CEOs, only accountants.
I do love how chief scientist on COVID is, at least according to CNN's interview count, Bill Gates.
Yeah.
So, the ones who look around and go, trust the science.
Right.
Not computer
Trust
science,
science.
brah. That's not the thing we're looking at.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so.
You mean the models that suck every time we run them and never predict anything accurately?
I mean, that's the thing. Anytime someone goes, trust the science, you just ask any scientist and they go, well, what science are you talking about? What's the control rate? What's the study? What was the sample size they used? They go and they look at it. Every single one of these folks look at it. And here's the thing I will tell you is the abuse of the science. The number of folks who have come out over and over and over again, folks who are Democrat, progressive, but intellectually honest, who would say, look, I believe there's an ideal we should chase, and you got to bound that in reality. But then they look at the tests and the headlines that come out from the science, and even the scientists are saying, whoa, that's not what we said. We didn't say, if you go outside and you're within 97 feet of another person, you're going to kill your grandmother. That's not what we said, and yet that's what it's being turned into. So especially to get to that question, when you hear folks who are saying, trust the science, I'd ask you to ask them what they say the science is.
Yeah.
What's the part that we're really fighting on? That we can get a vaccine in a year, we can do nearly the impossible, and then somehow in 99 days forget where the vaccine came from?
Yeah. And by the way,
Hey, Bill, stop touching your desk, man. You need to calm down.
I trust the scientific process long term, right? The scientific process. I don't trust the people who are picking the scientists. You have a consensus of scientists in this administration, for example. And you, by the way, have a consensus of scientists on the International Olympic Committee that a man who undergoes hormone blockers for 1 year has no biological advantage whatsoever under female competitors. I just watched a scientist on CNN, I want to say yesterday or the day before, talking about men and females athletics, saying, actually, the science now shows us that the disproportionate androgen receptors and testosterone, which we thought improved performance, that the science shows us there's no discernible benefit in performance due to increased testosterone. Basically saying the science is in, steroids don't do.
You are fake news.
and you have consensus. 1 year is what's required. So all of these scientists who said if you ever pop hot for steroids, in the International Olympic Committee, you ever pop hot ever, and you're gone, you're out. You drink too much, you have 2 cups of coffee before you take a piss test off of a diving competition in the Olympics. Yeah. It's technically a banned substance. But 1 year and you block your testosterone, there's no discernible benefit. You want to tell me there's no way to bastardize the scientific process? It's the cherry pickers of the scientists. Yeah. That's the biggest problem.
Well, and you need to have an open competition. It's a meritocracy. If you're right, you're right. If you're not, you're pushed to the side and you come up with a new theory to see if you can come back, right? We have people that have told us every one of these different objects will hold COVID for a certain period of time. Stainless steel, cardboard, wood.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then they came out with a study just recently and said, well, I think we were wrong. If you had said what they said today to them then, you would have been kicked off of every platform as a COVID denier and pushing false science. If you had said, hey, but I have your paper right here, and it said herd immunity can be reached through immunization and people getting sick, and then you scrubbed it, and I have both. No, you're kicked off of every single platform. How about this? Masks, we know exactly how they work, and it's not a great idea to tell people to use cotton and not an N95 because the particles are 1,000 times smaller than the gaps.
We will ask the questions.
Exactly. It's like, God, what is the science to you? On what day are you speaking of?
Yeah, no, when it comes to, they all talk about science and trusting the science, meaning trusting their science. And there's a huge difference between the scientific process and Dr. Fauci. So when they say trust the science, you go, oh, let's go through the scientific method. Let's look through these studies. Let's look through the meta-analysis. Let's look through all this evidence where we're talking about variants and what what the efficacy is of these vaccines. Can asymptomatic people be carriers? Can children be carriers? They turn into Hogan's Heroes. I know nothing. Yeah. I see nothing. Let's not equate the scientific process with the scientists who have been chosen, because if you can pick a board of scientists to say that there is no discernible benefit from testosterone levels that are 10 to 20 times higher for 30 years, then look, then it means nothing. Science means nothing.
Watch Louder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.